In today's lesson, we will discuss the vertices, edges, and faces of three-dimensional figures. The goal of this lesson will be to define the terms vertices, edges, and faces and explain how to identify them in figures. A three-dimensional figure is a figure that has three dimensions, such as length, width, and height. A three-dimensional figure can be represented with a net, which is a flat representation of three-dimensional figures that can be folded up to create the three-dimensional figure. A net essentially breaks a figure down so that all its faces are laid flat. On a three-dimensional figure, a face is a surface that can be flat or curved. Some three-dimensional shapes also have parts called edges, which form where two faces meet, and vertices, which are corners or points. To get a better idea of what vertices, edges, and faces are, let's look at a few figures. This is a cube. It has three faces showing. But if we turn it, we can see it has three more faces for a total of 6. And when we count the lines formed where the faces meet, we can see that the cube has 12 edges. As for vertices or corners, a quick count shows that there are 8. This is a rectangular prism. Like a cube, it shows 3 faces from the front, but has 3 additional faces that are visible when it is turned. And like the cube, it has 12 edges and 8 vertices. So rectangular prisms and cubes have the same number of vertices, edges, and faces. This is a pyramid. It's important to note that it's a triangular pyramid, meaning a pyramid with a triangular base. As such, it has 4 faces. It also has 6 edges and 4 vertices. This is also a pyramid, but this one is a square pyramid, meaning it has a square as its base. As such, this pyramid has 5 faces. It also has 8 edges and 5 vertices. Finally, this is a triangular prism. As we can see, it is made up of 2 triangles and 3 rectangles, meaning it has a total of 5 faces. And when we count them up, we find the prism has a total of 9 edges, as well as 6 vertices. So, the goal of this lesson was to define the terms vertices, edges, and faces, and explain how to identify them in figures. Three-dimensional figures are figures that exist in 3 dimensions. All three-dimensional figures have at least one face, which is a flat or curved surface. And many of these figures, particularly those composed of triangles and rectangles, have edges, which are lines formed where faces meet. They also have vertices, which are corners or points. Different figures have different numbers of vertices, edges, and faces. These parts of three-dimensional figures can be easily identified and counted in figures as long as their definitions are understood. For more information on this topic, contact your teacher.